Okay, this is on the Chapter 5 review. The first thing we're going to cover are the first few questions, and I'm going to show the corresponding angles first. Here is one set. Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. Angle 4 and angle 8. Angle 2 and angle 6. And lastly, angle 3 and angle 7. Here is the first set of alternate interior angles. Angle 4 and angle 6 are congruent. And angle 3 and angle 5. Next is the alternate exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 7 are congruent. And angle 2 and angle 8 are congruent. This is the Venn diagram of the quadrilaterals. Notice the square is part of a rectangle and rhombus. As I stated in class, it's like the rectangle and rhombus got married and had a baby and it was a square. So rectangle, 90-degree angles, rhombus, congruent sides. So square, congruent angles, congruent sides as well. And then trapezoid is kind of the goofy uncle. Here are the three types of triangles based on sides: equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. And then we can classify the triangles based on angles. Acute, only acute angles involved. If you have one of the others, acute or, right or obtuse, then it would not be an acute triangle. Right triangle only has one right angle, obtuse only has one obtuse angle. They give you this shape in the review, and this is one line of symmetry, and here's the second line of symmetry. Rotated at 180 degrees like this, it's still going to look the same. And then we could do it again back to 360 degrees. So if it has rotational symmetry, it has rotational symmetry at 2 points, 180 and 360. Here are a couple problems that were on the Chapter 10 review. Values for f of n and then the ordered pairs. Here's the next problem, values for f of n and the ordered pairs. Which are right here. Remember, if it starts as a fraction, it needs to end as a fraction. Do not fall into the trap of converting it to a decimal. Here's the next problem, solution right here. And this final one, this was not a part of the review, but it will be on the test. And these are both quadratic functions. Notice that the problems themselves only differ by one negative symbol. And I do that to point out the fact that this negative sign makes the problem a little bit different. Here's the solutions for them. We're just replacing x with the values here. Negative 2 squared is 4 plus 1 is 5. Notice over here though, negative 2 squared, that's actually going to give us 4, but then this is negative 4 because essentially it's negative parentheses negative 2 squared. We square that becomes a 4, but there's that negative sign out in front, so that becomes a negative 4. So order of operations, exponents first, and then we multiply. So that's why that's a negative 4. We add 1, and that's going to give us negative 3. And that's the justification for these solutions here. For quadratic functions that do not have a negative sign, you're going to end up with a parabola that's facing up. And those that do have a negative sign over here, connected with the variable, will be facing down.